Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Gregory Martin, aka the Super Producer. Here we review movies, TV series, discuss filmmaking tips, and entertainment news. Now, if that's something that sounds interesting to you, please don't forget to smash that like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to ring that bell. It keeps you notified whenever I post a new video, and it also helps the channel grow. Now, with that being said, let's just jump right into today's review. And today we are reviewing the Netflix movie, The Midnight Sky, which is directed and stars George Clooney. So let me never beat around the bush with this. My first impressions of this movie were not great, and that's putting it mildly. Like I said in the Ma Rainey video earlier, movies that are typically put out around this time, especially movies like this that are packaged really nicely with the A-list actor, director, you have a nice rounded cast who has been nominated for awards such as Felicity Jones, David Oyelowo, Kyle Chandler, and then you have something that is based off of I'm not sure if this was a New York Times best-selling book, but all those elements put together are usually what studios try to package together to garner award buzz. And for me, this movie fit or ticked every box that is what this movie is. And this was a very underwhelming attempt to, I guess, engineer an Oscar or a Golden Globe. I'm not sure. Now, even though this film has all those elements that, like I said, you would expect in like an Oscar-winning film, I really hope this film gets shut out, because there's not a lot of redeeming qualities about this film. To me, while I was watching this film, I just couldn't help but think that I've seen parts of this film before, especially with George Clooney in it. And that movie that I'm referencing is Gravity. That movie came out in 2015, starred George Clooney, and by no means was Gravity a perfect movie. I mean, the story was good. I mean, it wasn't a in-depth epic. Gravity more or less was a disaster film set in space that had a really good score, had a really good cast. Now, where Gravity fell short, or what the critics of Gravity said that it fell short in, was certain story elements. I don't recall everything that the critics said about the film. That was like 5 years ago. But I do recall the biggest thing that people had was that the story was too generic. That they wanted more information. They wanted a deeper story about Sandra Bullock's character. Now, this film, to me, the Midnight Sky, it felt like it was made to fill in part of the story where Gravity didn't fill in. Where you have this singular character who's dealing with this ordeal on Earth, and you want to know what's behind their actions, and then you also have this space story that's happening, and this where the shuttle is trying to come back to Earth. To me, the entire story felt just two separate parts. If anything, they should have made this into two different movies. One movie that followed George Clooney and being the last man on Earth or above ground, and then another story about like this group of people who were returning back home from space to find that Earth was uninhabitable. Making two movies would make more sense than making this, which felt very disjointed and didn't feel like a complete story. Like, it was very contrived. It even, I guess you could say it was paying homage to Gravity, but there were explicit scenes where it was really a direct copy of Gravity, and it didn't make the scene better, or it didn't improve upon what Gravity did. And yeah, that's kind of how I felt the entire time watching this shuttle this shuttle avert danger in space. You know, it was like a carbon copy of what I saw in Gravity 5 years ago. You know, the only thing missing that made it like lackluster even more was that it was missing a score from Stephen Miller. I really had high hopes. The trailer that they released on this film around Thanksgiving looked really good, looked really interesting. You know, for me, I watch, you know, I won't say I watch a lot of George Clooney stuff, but when he does happen to get into the director's chair or he's producing something, you know, I expect, or I've come to expect, a very decent, well put together movie. You know, not necessarily the best direction, but you know, definitely someone who's been around a film set and knows how to direct actors, put shots together and things like that. This, you know, wasn't it. It wasn't, you know, bad from a technical standpoint, but from a storytelling standpoint, I don't know what went wrong. You know, I'm not sure if they, you know, if this was a victim of the pandemic where they had to stop production and, you know, get stuff done. I'm not sure if they ran out of time, because the story just didn't. I don't know. There was just nothing to connect me to the story. The one that was being told on Earth or the one that was being told in space. It just wasn't really good. One of the things I did really like about this movie was the fact that George Clooney is, you know, kind of leaning into his older age. You know, he's not the 40-year-old guy or the late 30-year-old guy from ER that we are used to. He's, you know, obviously he's older. He's a more mature gentleman, and you know, he has some grays. So, you know, I'm not sure if this was part a wig or part of his natural hair that he grew out. But he was like, you know, we all know George Clooney to be, you know, the silver fox. You know, he is more silver, or, you know, I guess the white fox in this one, because he has a very white beard and head of hair. But it was really cool to see him as a more grizzled man, and you know, I'm interested to see how he, you know, how he ages with the movies and the roles that he takes. If he's going to continue, if he's going to play more, I guess, older roles, or like more, I guess, I don't want to say age appropriate, you know, because Tom Cruise is still doing his thing at like almost 60. But if he's going to do more of these more dramatic and serious roles in his advanced age, I am very interested to see what career path he changes, or if he's just going to go more into the path of taking on more roles to produce and to direct. I'm really interested to see that part of his career, but unfortunately for me, this film was a miss. Well, that is my review of the movie The Midnight Sky. Unfortunately, this is not one of George Clooney's best directorial work. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comment section. I would love to get you guys' thoughts. But if you did like this video and found it helpful, please don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. And as always, guys, I will catch you on the next